Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first. I have the Q, but no U and no I, so if I can't play the Q, I will probably be changing, and I'll keep back an E and an N. Nothing there helps my Q. I'm just wondering if Weller is good. I'll check that. It's not good. Fantastic. Now I'm going to change. I know my opponent's got Weller. That doesn't alter my change. And I draw the first blank. I have non-fuel with the blank as an N. I'm not sure if that takes an S. I don't think it does. I have sulphone with the blank as an S. I have flounce with the blank as a C. So do I have anything beginning or ending with the E of well? And do I have a double-double in column 11 with an S or a Y in 4th place? I don't think sulphone has an anagram. And I can't see anything with a Y. I'm inclined to play non-fuel. I don't want my opponent to disappear or get bored early in the game. Non-fuel 69. A lot of vowels. But I've got a T. I could play iota somewhere. Well, I could play iota at H1 if that stays available. And I'm looking at the W and F as scoring tiles to try and boost my score, given I've only got 1-point tiles. I can play iota in row G above well, making O, tell, and owl. Double EI is not a great leave, but it's good enough if I'm scoring 15 to 20 points to be better than changing. I'm wondering if I have anything through the F of fuel. I'm sure I don't have a double-double. But Fiat's not good enough because with that I'm retaining 4 vowels. 3 is just about okay, but 4 is really not good at all unless I'm getting a very good score, and I'm not going to get that through the F. I've also got the L of well. I'm not going to score well through that, but I may be able to get rid of more vowels. So I could play IO light, keeping A, E. 10 points. And iota in row. Wow. Well, my opponent bingos. He is now 9 points in front. My iota spot over here remains available, which is good because I think this is going to score reasonably well. 21 points, and the rack leave is okay. That's pretty good. I have Herney E and herniate through the T of rateable, and Atherine through that T, but that doesn't quite fit. I have Herney E in column 11, beginning next to the final E of rateable. And I have herniate in row D, so I think one of those should remain available. I'm not sure if rateable takes an S at the end. I think rateable, spelt as a 7-letter word without the first E, may take an S. And it's possible that both spellings take an S, but I think this spelling doesn't. That's not relevant for this move, but may be relevant for future moves. I'll play herniate if I can, because herni E places an E in the middle of row O and doesn't cover the double letter square. So do I have any other bingos? I've got the 2-letter sets in columns 2, 3 and 4 to consider: on, to and an. Can't see anything through those. My opponent's taking a while. Maybe he's close to another bingo. I've also got EL to consider in column 8. Can't see anything through that. I don't think herni E has an anagram, and I haven't seen anywhere else to play it apart from column 11. Herniate in row D is going to stop one square short of a double word square, and herniate takes a D and an S. So there's actually not very much between herniate and herni E in column 11. Well, my opponent has used up nearly a third of his time. So I'm tempted to play fairly quickly, partly to put him into time trouble and partly because I don't need to spend much time of my own, because I'm able to do all my thinking on my opponent's time. I simply need to consider how his move changes the board. I'm just looking at WE in column 7. Now, both of my spots remain available, but my opponent has provided a new one, and it's a better one, because this doesn't open up a triple word square, and it doesn't stop one square short of a double word square. And we'll score about the same. herni E 77. That's pretty good. I would have avidities through a split I and S. I say it's pretty good as an immediate reaction to the fact that it's a good vowel consonant mixture. And it looks like a rack that, even without a bingo, I ought to be able to have options to leave a decent rack leave. So if I played via, I would be keeping edit, which is quite good. Now, do I have a bingo with this rack? Through a T, I would have vitiated, and there is a T in rateable. Great, so at the moment I do have a bingo. And do I have deviation in column 2? Yes, I do. Fantastic. So I should be bingoing again. I've started studying 9-letter words. I've got about 2,300 in my card box. I'm not sure if deviation's in that list, but by studying 9-letter words, I'm more open to the prefixes and suffixes which attach to them, and certainly ation is a suffix which appears a lot more in 9-letter words than it does in shorter bingos. Now, my opponent has blocked vitiate, I think. Yes, he has. So, deviation it is. I'm just going to pause in case I've got anything else through disagree. But I don't think I do. Well, the bingo run ends for me. I have the Q onto an H. I would have cough. No H available. I can play my Q because there are available I's at H1 and B8. And also D1. So D1 and... well, the I's at D2. I can place my Q at D1 for 21 and at G1 for 22. But then my Rackley is going to be pretty awful. And the fact that I can play my Q off in several places on the board may persuade me to retain the Q if I can score highly enough with my remaining tiles. And I note that I through an R in the right spot, I would have Fjord. The R of disagree not quite in the right spot for that. I've got, or I would have, jeered at D1 if I had an R. I haven't. And that would be taking one of my Q spots. Now, what about column 8 at the top? Do I have anything through the I of disagree? Using some of my high-scoring tiles. Well, I could play Quaff for 36, but that is retaining the J and the Q. It would be, well, nice to get rid of the F and the J, but I think I'm going to be retaining non-synergetic high-scoring tiles, whatever I do. That's a big score for my opponent, 50 points. Now I note that I can place my J next to this O if I've got a play coming down here. If I had an E, I could have Jeffe, but I don't, so that option isn't available. Quaff would keep J, P, and Q. Not great. What about A12 down? Can I place my J at A12? I don't think so. Well, so much for my plan of playing quickly. I'm struggling to find a decent move here. In which case, I think I'm inclined to play off this Q. $22 points. Now, there are still several hotspots for my J. There's A12, there's D1, and there's A8, so I think this is the right thing to do. Draw a consonant, but no, not a surprise, since I was only replenishing my rack with one tile. But it is a 1-point bingo-y consonant. So, what about Fjord? I actually have that on my rack. I don't have to play that through anything. Does it go anywhere? Well, I'm not sure that it does, but that would certainly sort the rack out in one. It would keep C and P. Well, plenty of vowels on this board, but they're not really helping me. I've got Jerd at D1. My R does give me Jerd. That's 40 points. That's good. And if I had an L, I would have Fridjol at A8. Wow, 67 points for my opponent. He's piling on the points. He's now about 30 points ahead. Jerd stays available. And although I'm retaining a lot of high-scoring tiles, CF and P, I am retaining a vowel, and there is some synergy between the C and the P. Great, I draw vowels. This is a balanced rack. I'm in the position now where I should be able to leave myself with a decent rack leave. So I could play quaff now at A8 down, keeping EIMP, that's quite balanced. And I could play from at H12 through the R of negatory, so either of those is going to score well and leave a decent rack leave. And another bingo by my opponent, so well done to him. He's now, well, close to a bingo ahead, but I have a scoring chance now, so I can play from. $39 points. I'm keeping a decent rack leave. Yeah, and I think that's better than quaff. Would I rather have the C or the M? Well, the C is slightly more bingo-y, although there is MP synergy. I think MP synergy is more than CP synergy. And these moves score the same. Probably not very much between these plays. Not a great pickup. I'm 20 points behind and my opponent's on turn. I certainly want to play off one of these Ps, and what I'd like to do is play off two of my high-scoring tiles, either both Ps or a P and a C. Through an O, I might have Peptonic, but no O is available. I could play Epic at A8 down. That's going to score over 30 points. But burning the E, and there's only one E left, so my E is more valuable than it would otherwise be. But if I don't play my E, I'm either using my I, or I'm only playing through vowels on the board. So can I do that? Can I play through the I of disagree? And retain the E. I don't think I can. Now my opponent's slowed down a bit. He's got only 21 points. There are 12 tiles in the bag, including a blank 2 S's and the Z. So where can I score with my scoring tiles? Can't see anything through the D of deviation. 13 minutes left. Neither my C nor my P goes underneath the E of Herney E. I could play through that. I could play Pep, keeping INCET, but that's only 14 points. And given that my opponent is 40 points ahead, I've got to try and keep up with him. And this is 33. Great, I draw the blank. I have, well, I think Pittykins takes an S at the end. I don't think Pittykin is good. But this is actually quite close to a bingo. Nitpick. I have nitpick. Does that play? Not at the moment. There are no 7-letter bingo lanes. Ugh takes an S. Well, row L is a bingo lane, but with 4 overlaps, so that's not very likely. There's the M of from for an 8-letter bingo. So I could have a bingo beginning IMP. I'm close to Mini Park. 29 points for my opponent. 7 tiles left. He is now 27 points or 37 points ahead of me. But I have quite a bingo-y rack. Now I'm thinking about playing across here in row L. So I could play Tink. And what this does is, well, it distracts my opponent. He's going to struggle to block row M as a bingo lane. Row L is available for bingos ending S something. I am blocking column 15 as a bingo lane, but if my opponent plays down from the K, he'll be providing 2 new floaters. One bad thing about this move is that ET doesn't take an S. So this is 30 points. I could address that problem by doing this, dropping 6 points, but I'm opening a bingo lane for a 7-letter bingo ending in S, and I'm keeping column 15 open. I've got 11 minutes left. Now, one problem about opening up row M for bingos ending in S is that my opponent might have one. There are 2 S's out there, and if you forget about the last 4 tiles, the rest of the bag is really bingo-y. So I think I'll go back to this play. 30 points, and this may help me to win without a bingo. Now, can I do better than this? 11 minutes left. Do I have a playable bingo? I think if I do, it'll be through the M. The E of Epic not available. So what's mini with, well, I have KPT blank, mini kept, not good. Mink. Can't see anything there. Now, what else can I do? I think I will go with this. I have X-Terps, but my ET does not take an S, so it doesn't play. That is frustrating because if I'd played 2 squares to the left, it would have played. I have drawn one of the S's, so the remaining tiles are looking a little less bingo-y. My opponent might have a vowel-heavy rack and have a V. But he could play Kiver or Carver in column 15. I'm 7 points behind. Is there anything else apart from X-Terps? Well, if I did have a bingo, the blank would be a vowel, almost certainly. And I've got no floaters to consider, so blank is an A. Can't see anything. E is X-Terps, no anagrams. Can't see anything with an I. Or an O, or a U. So 3 tiles in the bag. If I could play off just my X, then, well, I may have a bingo. But will I have that opportunity? My opponent could well empty the bag here. That is frustrating that ET doesn't take an S. Well, my opponent may provide an opportunity for that bingo. And I may be able to win without it. It really depends how the remaining tiles fall. The Z is a big tile. But there are no immediately obvious great Z spots. 10 minutes left. My opponent's got 4. If I can't bingo, and supposing the bag is empty, are there any big scoring spots on the board? And I'm thinking particularly about my X. Can I play down from the R of hernie, even using the blank? Well, I'm not sure I can. No, don't think so. I'm wondering if I can place my X on this triple letter square and play down here, something like Xenia, but I don't have that. So the X not such a great tile. And if my opponent does play down from the K, I don't think there are any floaters which would help me. Except if he places a vowel next to this double word square, I may be able to play Nix down here. That's not going to happen if he plays Carver or Kiver. I could play Praxis across here, making Uggs. No tiles left. My opponent. This is what my opponent's got. Do I challenge Vera? Do I challenge it? Ugh. I want to. It's good. I'm now 42 points behind. So Praxis. 42 points. So this would draw me level, keeping just a T. That's not going to be good enough. I need to score twice here. I've only got one vowel. I've got 9 minutes left. So I will really want to score once with my X and then once with my remaining tiles. So where can I score well with my X? I don't want to just drop it off for 9 points. It's got to work harder than that. I'm looking for a 20-point X play and then a 20-point out play, and even that might not be enough. Well, why don't I play down from the K? So I could play Kips for 27. I could play Skirt for 27. And what about using my blank as an A? Well, I just don't have anything high to place here. So let me see what Kips looks like. Not good at all. 8 minutes left. Because I can't go out in one in an easy way. Now, what about playing down from this triple letter square with the P? I thought I had pink set. Maybe I do. Yeah, I do have it. Let me see what this scores. This is awful. It's going to score well. Let me just show you. Pinks, it scores well, 40 points, but my opponent can come straight back with Zati, so that's hopeless. 7 minutes left. So, if I'd played Tink 2 to the left, I would have been home and dry. How annoying. Well, I'm drawn to the K. Praxis is still available across here. My opponent could play Nazis. So maybe I should be playing here. 6 minutes left. I'm 42 points behind. My opponent's got the Z. He's got Kazi down here and Nazis across here. So I think this game is lost. In which case I should probably take out the Kazi spot because that's the one which he's more likely to see. So I tried Kips earlier and didn't like the rack leave. Let me see what this looks like. Skirt 27. I'm keeping P blank X. So well, no, I don't have packs across it. It's 5 minutes left. I don't have Expo through this E. I have Expo through this E. I think I'm inclined to play this. There, it's done. I'm 15 points behind. My opponent is going to play his Z now, possibly with Nazis across here, or risers down here. Now, if my opponent does play Nazis, I'll be able to play packs, probably for not enough to win, but that might cause him to pause. He's only got 2 minutes left, so he will be playing fairly shortly. So at the moment, well, where's my X spot? Okay, I've lost my X spot. Oh well, it was just Expo down from the E of Hernier, that's it. Which almost certainly won't be enough to win. One minute left for my opponent. So what will he get for Nazis if he plays that? $36 points. So 36 and 15. He'll be 51 in front. He'll lose 4 on countback, so I'd need 47 to draw, and Pax isn't going to do that. Although it will be very close. Okay, 45 for Brisers. And my opponent has blocked my Expo spot. So do I have an outplay? I have 4 minutes to find one. Can't see anything through the A. Well, I could play... Well, it's not an out, but I could play axe. But then my opponent has got nouse. So is there really no out for me here? I'm just looking around the board for any spots I have overlooked. Such as this ET down here, but the P doesn't really go very well with the axe. No, I can't see an out. So axe for 27. And that's the end of the game. Pass to end it. And the final score, 460 to me, 504 to my opponent. So well done to my opponent. A very high scoring game. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first, and he phonied with Weller. This is my rack. I changed, and I think that's better than those options. My opponent back with his rack. He now plays well, and I have a variety of bingos. And fluorine was a play which ended with an E. Well, that's what I was looking for and didn't find. I played non-fuel for 69, which was in the pack of lesser moves. My opponent's rack, he had rateable and terrible. And this is my rack. And I played iota for 21, and that looks fine. My opponent's rack, he didn't have a bingo. He played dag, and this is my rack, and I had herny E and herny 8. And this was the best spot. And my opponent's rack, and he had disagree and some other bingos. And I had deviation, but what I also had, which I didn't spot, was ideative through the E of rateable and these E's up here, but deviation was the best play. My opponent's rack, he gets a 50-point power play with cozy, and I have a horror show of a rack. I'm 20 points ahead, but this is a really tricky rack to deal with. I considered quaff keeping these 4 clunky consonants and instead decided to jettison the Q, retaining a vowel and the J. I think that's the right thing to do. My opponent's rack, he had negatory, and this is where he went into the lead. My rack, and I played... Did I play Jird for 40? Yes, I did. That looks fine. And my opponent's rack, and he found a great bingo with Bohemian. Now, at this point, he is about 60 points ahead, but I'm able to score 39 points with From. And, well, I'm still not sure which of Quaff and From is better. Now, my opponent has a horrible rack, and he played... Well, he played Ulu. He had that Z for quite a while. My rack, I played Epic for 33. I think that looks fine. Not a nice rack for my opponent, and he's only 8 points ahead. So, what did he do here? He played Al for 29. And this is my nitpick, which didn't go. And these are the plays. Tink, which I played. And if I'd played it 2 to the left, then Exterps would have played. Well, that's pretty painful, but that's what I did. My opponent's rack. And what did he do here? He played Vera for 30, which I challenged. And this is my rack. Did I have a bingo? No, I didn't. And I'm 46 points behind. Well, this simply isn't going to win. If I play Ptixis, or Tixis rather, for 42, then my opponent's still got risers. So these are all losing moves. So the real issue here... Let's just play this through. My opponent's rack, and he played risers, and finally, did I have an out? Yes, gosh, I had Apex, well, and Plex and Prex. Where are they? A6. Oh, through this E. Okay, so I did have outs, and that was remiss of me to miss them, but it didn't alter the final score. And indeed, Axe might have been, because of its greater score over Apex, might actually be a better move than going out. There's not going to be much in it. So, the end of the game, very exciting, very high scoring. It doesn't happen often that you score 460 points and lose, but very well played by my opponent. A great set of bingos from him. I think the critical move in this game was the tink play, and although it's very easy to say, well, if I'd played it 2 to the left, then Xderps would have won, I'm sure my opponent would have, well, he would have known what I had, so he could have then taken steps to block that, and it wasn't a particularly flexible rack. I didn't have alternative bingos, so although it looks like tink might have been a better play, that's not necessarily the case. Anyway, very exciting game, and well done to my opponent once again. I hope you enjoyed watching it and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.